What's up, Scooby-Doo? Scooby-Doo
It's your boy Red and Blue, and this is your dose of... Damn.
Sticky rugs.
Yo.
Okay.
Your boy Red and Blue is your daily dose of PCP. Let's get to it. What's going on? It's your boy Red and Blue, and with me is Moses and Larry X. Now, some of you may know me from my music or the Purple Room, but let me get a background story about myself for those who don't. So I create content, I make music, I try to upload a song a week, and I just decided that, me and my friends decided that it'd be nice if we made a podcast together, so here we are, and we hope you enjoy it. I'm gonna let them give some background about themselves, so let's get to it. Moses, you got anything to say to these beautiful people?
What up, fam? It's like he said, I'm Moses. Spoken to the first episode. Thank you for tuning in. And just some background about me. Grew up in Brooklyn, born and raised for the most part. I used to do music here and there, used to rap and all that stuff. But right now, currently, I do marketing. It's my day to day. I'm working on a mediation business, and just living life. How about you, Eric?
It's actually Mr. X.
Oh, my bad. Let's do that again. I'm sorry. Larry X. That's Larry X, yo.
What's up, everyone? My name is Larry X on YouTube.
I'm shaking ass. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you find the video, let me know. But yeah, it's out there. But yeah, I'm currently a college student, about to graduate this semester. I'm also I try to make YouTube videos. I'm very infrequent, so if you're one of my subscribers, probably hear this 100 times. I'm sorry, I'll make a video soon. I'm excited to be here, and yeah.
You the host.
So now that you know about us, like who we are as people, you're probably wondering how this came about and how we know each other. We met in college through a fraternity, and they became pretty much my best friends. We had like multiple nights where we would just talk about a lot of stuff, like for hours and hours. And we decided that because of like how unique our ideas are and how different they are, that we should turn into a podcast. So here we are, and now it's time for your daily dose of PCP.
Is it weird to y'all that we're like doing this now? Like
I mean, we started the idea in like 2018, so like 2019, so yeah.
But it's still, it's very weird.
I know.
Yeah, it does feel like it's definitely overdue. Not to be like so like, damn, we should have done this a while ago, man.
Eric said I got something to say. It's long overdue.
Yeah, no, but this was an idea that we talked about for a while, and so I'm happy that's like we're finally putting this into action, and doing it because like the whole panorama going on, and everything, time just like, passed like nothing.
What you mean when you say like the whole panorama?
Like, the whole cough.
Oh, you're talking about the actual pandemic. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if we're not allowed to. I think we are allowed to say it.
Pandemic?
Yeah, you're allowed to say it.
You're fine with saying pandemic.
You just say like the virus is so, and then that's when if you spread disinformation, but we don't gotta worry about that.
Yeah.
We're not some other networks out there, but anyway.
Well then. But it's crazy, but like piggybacking off Eric, it is long overdue, and we here now. So
Alright. So now that we're like in May, this may be dropped in June. But anyway, we're halfway through the year pretty much. Have any of y'all accomplished any of your resolutions? First off, what was one of y'all resolutions?
Resolutions. Well, I don't really do New Year's resolutions per se. So this one wasn't necessarily a New Year's one. It was just something that had I won't say randomly came up, but something I've been thinking about for a while. And it just so happened to carry it through the new year. Y'all know I've been working on modeling, newly getting into it. So just doing more with that. Before it started off as fun, I wasn't seeking it out at all. Obviously, y'all know the whole situation with Banana Republic, but it was like, all right, let me see where I could go, because the last 2-3 years, I really feel like I've been, like, it's been about, like, growing, like, financially and just, like, expanding my, like, different streams of income. So I was like, well, although this wasn't something I ever wanted to do, I can't model and be one, So I think that's really tying into the modeling thing. Just another one of my, probably the overarching, like, resolution for me is just growing financially and professionally. Like the current job that I'm at doing marketing, like growing in that area too. Like I'm noticing I'm leaning towards getting into like the more product development side of the business just to see what it's about. So I've been working on courses and classes like that. So keeping myself busy with that type of stuff. Like, how about y'all?
For me, it's I think it's more like picking up the pieces almost. It's after the pandemic and all that, it's like I feel like I fell into like a very deep depression in a way. So I feel like it's only now like I'm actually like picking up the pieces and actually getting my things in order. Like right now, it's finally graduating. I was supposed to have graduated in 2020. And the next step was law school. Right now, it's I also plan on applying to law school, doing the LSAT, and then also going to the gym. The gyms were closed, so I want to go back to 165 pounds because I gained quite a bit of weight, and and being just more consistent with content creation, like you said, like working on like other streams of income. I mean, if this YouTube thing works out, great. But also, like, I find it pretty fun. Also, like keeping busy, like, just staying home and doing nothing. I mean, that's what I've been doing like, for like the past couple of years. It helps now.
Yeah, that's a fact. How about you, James?
Pretty much. Like I've been trying to like grow not only my music, but I also started a food business. I haven't got the LLC yet, but like I like making food and people like my food, so I'm starting this thing called TAEHG. I'll let y'all know what the whole thing means later when I get the LLC. I'm also focused on investing right now, investing like at least $100 a week. This way, once I get my account to a certain level, I can be making $200 a day. I'm hoping to do that by the end of 2024, and then at some point in 2025, make $1,000 a day on the market. So, and then I also want to like just be more creative. I like creating content. As y'all can tell, I got multiple channels of creating content, and if that makes money for me, that'll be even better. It will give me more options to like do other things that I want to do. So I'm just hoping to like expand my options in life.
Yeah, that's fire. That's fire. Especially like as he mentioned the LLC, I completely forgot. All three of us have existing or I should say, we're cultivating our own like business. Like mine with mediation, impactful mediation. That's IMPACTFU exclamation mark. I always thinking but whatever. But Eric, you have your own.
Yeah, it's NRG. It's a Nativity Resolution Group. So that's also I'm trying to also get into mediation because like I think both of us had done the dispute resolution in college. So it's like like negotiating and like understanding people, helping them communicate is something like that's very important to me.
Right.
I think it's also like you're really into like getting to know people and
that's. Overall, I would say that's probably like where I see myself in the long haul, like in the long run. Everything is kind of leading up to, from the job that I'm at now, like leading up to that, But and James, you have one for your music, so.
Yeah, so I got an LLC. It's called Arts by James Alexander, which is what my music is pretty much released under. It's what I release my beats under. It's actually what everything that I do that's media related is under my LLC. And I'm just trying to grow that. I want to expand into like photography, videography, and all that. So like, if I know other people that's into that, like I'm trying to do business with them, make beats beats with other people, make songs with other people, even do theatrical performances at some point. I also used to like to write plays back in the day, so if I could get back into like writing plays again, then yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
So what are you guys like doing exactly to make sure like you guys are on your goals?
I guess for me, when it comes, I'm gonna break it down to like, because I know I said like a few different things. For me, when it comes to modeling, still building my portfolio and just like, I won't say mimicking what I'm doing after like people who've been successful with it, but I speak to other people that are currently like in the field, whether they've been doing it for years upon years or more recently they're doing it, working with like one of my like closest friends. He's a photographer, so he's like been hands-on helping me build my portfolio and just like getting out there doing test shoots, like working on campaigns, all that kind of stuff. So as far as that's concerned, slowly but surely doing things. I am like, I have to, and this is gonna be the hardest part for me, working on increasing my social media presence, because y'all know I'm not like a big social media guy. But I just got like Instagram last year. Like, it's not my thing. So that's probably the most challenging part. But it's kind of like using it as like an experiment, because like I said, I do work in marketing too, like on a day-to-day. So I don't know, I kind of feel like with the exception of mediation, everything kind of bleeds into each other. Well, I won't even say with the exception of that, because even that is kind of like, I'm all of it's kind of like, it feels like working in tandem, because with the job, I have to learn about marketing things and I have to learn how to like brand stuff. So it's like, kind of taking that knowledge and seeing how I can apply it to my stuff. So, yeah. And then taking courses, because I didn't go to school for marketing. So, but yeah, stuff like that.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah, and even for me, somebody who uses social media very frequently, y'all know I'm always
Oh, yeah, you do.
you hit me up and y'all know I'll respond probably right away. But anyway, even me, like, I still struggle to like create a social media presence. I still struggle to like upload every day, probably mostly because I'm like self-conscious. Like, I don't like being on camera, it's not what I'm used to. So that's something that I'm trying to get better at by repetition. Like, the more I do it, the more comfortable I become with it. And hopefully the more I get to like mess with the algorithm in my favor.
Would you want to be more behind the scenes in the long run or not? You're like, you just want to get to a point where you're comfortable?
I want to be comfortable being in front of it. I don't like, although I don't mind being behind the scenes, like, especially since it's my LLC, it's like, it's my thing. So like, I want to be the face of my brand. I want to be the face of everything that I do.
That's fair.
But I can't be there if I don't like being in front of camera or like uploading on social media or being self-conscious, because that limits me on what I can do, and that limits my growth. And at the end of the day, that's not productive. So yeah.
He just checked somebody, I don't know who, but he just checked somebody, and like the way he said, they said that's not productive.
You gotta check yourself sometimes. That's the only way you grow. Just be honest with yourself.
That's a fact.
Like, I spent a lot of time not being honest with myself, and I could have been in a better position today if I was honest with myself back then. But it's never too late. So yeah.
Did Eric? Did Larry say his?
Not yet, but I do want to say like I do agree with you about like holding yourself accountable, but I think also it's on top of that, what I find also equally important is also like paying attention to the tone that you use when you hold yourself accountable for, because I know like for me a lot of times like like I feel like like I'm behind on so many things, but then it's sometimes I look back and it's like, yeah, I'm putting in the work for things. But it's like, sometimes I realize like, damn, like I'm kind of like really like harsh on myself. Like, it's like, like, damn, like, it's like, yo, you gotta fucking do this. Look at like, these people that you had studied with, and look at them already.
Comparison's a thief of joy.
Yeah.
It's funny, you text that to us, the tone that you use to speak to yourself.
Yeah.
And I was gonna ask you about that. When he'll just text random stuff in the chat. I was gonna ask you, but something said, "Don't ask you now." I was just like, all right, whatever. So then I just left it alone.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I feel like probably because you said it now, maybe that's what it was. Like, he's gonna like expound upon it. But
Nah, it's funny, when I got the text, I just looked at it, I was like, oh, is this Eric being Eric? And I just like rushed it off to the side.
I didn't know if it was to him, to us.
I thought it was like a joke. I'm like, oh, maybe
him
he's
and us.
joking. Yeah, so.
But and it's crazy because yeah, it was just I was gonna go into like a whole nother bag that I'm just not ready to do. So I'm gonna just let that. It's crazy. It was like the timing of you sending that was wild and funny. Like I asked you if you had went because James had said something that I wanted to touch on, but I didn't want to do it until like you got your like whatever you needed to say off. As basically piggybacking off what you both said, but starting with you, and you was like, just like being honest with yourself, like, yeah, that's not easy.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
What do you feel like you wasn't honest with yourself about?
Just like,
And you can chime in too, like if you
pretty much like with me, I'm like, I know I have the time to do certain things. My job allows me to have the time to work on stuff on the side. And it's like, anytime I had free time, I would just do other shit, like drinking and other stuff that's not productive.
Yeah.
And I know I could be doing something to better myself and put me in a position that I want to be put in. So when I started doing that too many times or letting my mental health being stuck in like my bag per se for too long, thinking about the negatives of life, what could have been, instead of where I am now, and like I had to learn how to like adjust to where I am in the moment and adapt so that I could get to where I want to be.
And when you say mental health, what are you talking more about? Like to put a name to it, are you speaking about depression, or are you speaking about
And depression and anxiety, and then like making sure that doesn't rule like what I do, that doesn't keep me from going to where I want to go, pretty much.
So when we started, I noticed Eric had mentioned like around the time of the pandemic and feeling like you wanted to go back to the gym so you can like shed some weight and stuff. Like you was like battling depression too. Like you both kind of touched on that as being like contributing factors to like either your current state or like what you feel like it's kind of been a hindrance. And while we all have like our own hindrances and like struggle with mental health to some degree, I personally have never struggled with depression, so it's always interesting to hear people, at least I don't think I've struggled with anxiety. I definitely have, but I don't ever remember being depressed. So it's always interesting when I hear people like speak about their experience, like in terms of like depression and all that kind of stuff.
I think, well, speaking for me, I think from what I learned with my depression, I know that it runs in the family.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's genetic. Like my grandma has dealt with depression. My mom deals with depression. So I guess the chances were pretty high that I deal with it. But at the same time, it's like I don't want to see that as like an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
Because anyone can make a reason why they can't do something. So I don't know, like for me it's like I try to, do what I can. I go to therapy. I'm currently on antidepressants.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I think for me my depression, I'm very like self-critical, and at the same time I'm very like critical of like my surroundings. Like it's like if someone says something and I don't think it's true, I just really like damn, like I don't like how like this is going, and I just like fall into like some kind of like, not to be dramatic, like some kind of like despair almost. Like, yeah.
Okay. For despair for them or for yourself? Like let's say going into that, like somebody says something that you don't feel like is true, and you're kind of like, who's that despair like reflective of? Is it like,
It's like almost,
why do they think like that? Like it sucks for them, or is it just like,
I think it's like a mixture of just everything. Like it's like, damn, like why is this person like this? Why is the world like this? Why am I like this? And then it's just like a whirlpool, and it just keeps spinning and spinning until it's like it comes to a point where I'm just thinking like, damn, like this sucks. I don't want to be here. And then, but I know it's like life is suffering almost, and I feel like I'm learning that there's a beauty behind that. That it's like, a lot of times I think like, like I end up like when I'm like in my feelings or whatever, it's like, like I never agreed to exist. I don't like how the world is and stuff, and then but it's like, I'm here for a reason, like pretty much like we're all like walking miracles. Like at the end of the day, it's like, we're all just atoms, but all bunched up together, and somehow they just decided to, create us. Like we are here, there's a reason for that. And, I think I always wanted to find out why, and I think I'm coming to terms that maybe I never will. And
Probably not until you die.
yeah, but I think it's like, fuck it. I'm gonna make the best out of it and see where I can go.
Yeah, bless you.
No problem.
No, I was saying bless you to him. He sneezed.
No, yeah.
Oh, I think you said, but I said bless you. I think you're like, no problem. But,
yeah, I said that.
See, this is what happens when you smoke too much.
Smoking. Yes, that's pretty interesting.
So for me, like with my depression, it's funny, I actually started treatment about almost 9 years ago today. So like, and what therapy has taught me was how to like analyze situations from a different point of view. So like that gives me like, what I like to do is I like to like pause and like assess the situation and then react. So instead of just reacting on impulse and then making a decision that may not be in your best interest and then having to deal with the consequences of that decision, putting you even in a worse position, which then feeds your depression even more and getting stuck like that. So therapy has helped me like not putting myself into further bad positions. So
Therapy is good. Like I just recently started going, and I actually had a therapy session before I got here, and my therapist said something along those lines. I wrote it down, but I want to grab my phone. He said something like, when you're going into a situation, like, think, am I reacting off of fact or feeling, And it was because on Friday, I definitely had a reaction out of a feeling. This was the first time in a long time that I was actually yelling at a person. Like, I was wailing on them. I got so angry, but it was because I felt like I was disrespected, I'm going too deep. One of my friends had said something regarding like faith and spirituality that really bothered me. We was able to come back from that pretty quickly, but what bothered me more was the people around me reaction towards it, because it was like, although you don't share the same belief necessarily, don't make me feel like I'm wilding for being offended, Well, like, it is a choice to take offense to what somebody says. Like, fact of the matter is, if somebody do say something offensive, it's okay for people to address it. And I felt like the attitude was very like, oh, well, get over it. It's not that deep. It's like, of course, it's not that deep to you. They didn't say anything in relation to you. So once I felt like I was just being told, you was wrong for doing this kind of thing. So at that point, it's like, all right, go better off. But of course, when you step outside of the situation, you assess it, you're like, this really was not called for. I didn't have to react that way. Like, I still feel the exact same way I felt about it. But the only thing I would have done differently was assess the situation differently and tailored my reaction so it could have been, my demeanor could have been more appropriate,
And I think that's the issue that's going on with the world, just like as a whole, is people are reacting on feeling without even at any point assessing the situation, and that's why we have a lot of the arguments that we have now. That's why you see radicalism on both sides becoming more extreme and more prevalent in everyday life in social media. And now it's even helping out the algorithm, so now that's pretty much all you see: extremists on the left, extremists on the right.
See, that's the catch-22, because I believe that social media is the reason for that, because now you give people these access to one another. Like, if I'm if I'm a racist and I live on my side of the world or my side of the country, I don't know you, even though I know other races exist. It's not until I get online and we're both in those same spaces, clicking on those same videos, following those same things in the same comment section, and then probably joining the same social media groups. Now I feel empowered. And social media does that algorithm that's so tailored, which is probably a major reason why I dislike it so much. But it's like, I think that's that catch-22. It's like, those people get on social media and express all that, but it's because they get on and they do that. They kind of like create and cultivate these groups that does the same thing, and then now you just see it playing out in real life with all these people rioting and all that stuff. Like, it is really crazy, Emotions are powerful.
Yeah, they definitely are.
Like, because I swear, when you're like in the thick of how you feel, like in that moment in real time, it's like nothing else matters. At least for me.
Yeah, you know how I am. I used to block people. All the time.
Yeah, he's blocking.
So
it's like,
some people used to call me Petty King. It is what it is. I'm not like that anymore. I just like, if you look at one of my mental health videos, I talk about not wasting energy on something that's not going to benefit you.
Mm-hmm.
But even me blocking somebody that's not going to do anything, if it does feel good in the moment, I'm not going to lie, but it's not going to do anything for me after that, other than I just feel good for.
Especially if you got to spin a block on that person.
I mean, I'm non-violent. Yo, fuck. Yeah, anyway.
It is.
No, but that's like one of those things that when you have all these emotions, and it doesn't even have to be like, dealing with conflict, like with people. It could even be like, at work, for example, like stress at work, or, everything just being in your head. And then it's like you kind of like have this energy and you need to like vent it out.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's like, shit, like you're gonna like yell at someone or do it. I feel like that's why like I started being more consistent with like the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, like especially like after work sometimes it's like, I just let it all out, like lifting weights and stuff like that.
That's what I did yesterday. Like, I got up early once. I didn't get home till like 5 a.m. from that night. But I still got up at like 8:30, went to the gym, relieved some stress, like just chilled, and then we visited those like conversations, like when all parties was in like a much cooler like space. It's, you definitely gotta, sometimes I feel like a hypocrite, but it's because I am a hypocrite. But that's all it was, That's actually part of the conversation that had came up. They had said something about like hypocrites or whatever, like a specific group, and I was like, every single person, if you're living and breathing, even if you ain't breathing, like, you are a hypocrite. Like, you've said or done something that goes against what you claimed your belief or your value is, at some point in time, We're just human. And the reason why I was like bringing up the hypocrisy things, it's like, in one instance, I'm talking about, mediation and like finding healthy ways to resolve conflicts. That's essentially what it's about, like being that facilitator for people. But then on another instance, it's like I just lost control of my emotions. But I think that's kind of why I like it, because who's more equipped to speak about something than someone who actually goes through it, or who understands those emotions. Like, if you ain't never been angry in life, and of course this is an exaggeration, but if you've never been angry or never had nothing with nobody, I don't want you telling me how to mediate a conflict, because you don't know what I'm feeling,
Yeah. That's how I feel like with psychology. Like, also a lot of people that study psychology are hypocrites, and you can see, like, I always talk about like good mental health things to do so that you don't deal with depression as much, don't deal with anxiety as much. Such as, like you said, go to the gym. Yeah. Some people write in a journal. Some people write, like for me, I do music. That's my therapy. Video games, all the other hobbies that you do in your free time. But even then, I sometimes don't do those things, and then I fall in a depression trap.
Because you're human, and it keeps us accountable. Because a lot of times that'd be something I think about. It's like, not that other people necessarily are, but I feel like I have to hold myself to a certain standard to where, because it's like, because of what I believe, like what I'm like, in terms of like, you know, how to properly like assess situation, handle conflict. So when I don't do it, it's like, you know, because again, it's like I stand on everything I felt and everything I said. I don't apologize for that, and I don't think I was wrong at all in regards to that. I just think my delivery demeaned the entire message, you know? It was how I delivered it and went about it that was complete, like, crap. But,
and I think that's the other problem that we have in like with society today is people don't know how to deliver the message that they want to deliver. So they don't necessarily have bad intentions, but they don't know how to convey what they want to convey. Yeah. Thus, it gets misinterpreted by the person that's supposed to be the recipient of that message, which causes even more conflict, and it just makes each side like separate from each other.
Yeah.
So
people don't like being wrong. Like the one thing I can say, I have no problem apologizing. Like if oh yeah, you do. You got better, but I feel like as wrong as I might do a lot of things, I will apologize if I'm in the wrong. Like I will be like, I messed up. I'm sorry. I feel like some people they just
sorry.
Yeah, I can see that, but it takes nothing away from you. You know, it's like
no, you're you want to get it right.
Yeah, but I feel that.
Yeah, I feel like definitely for me it comes easy. Like if I'm wrong, I apologize.
You do apologize pretty quickly, even when I feel like everything's like Larry don't think he wrong about this. You know he don't but he'll apologize anyway. That's admirable though.
Yeah.
Very admirable.
But I feel like it also goes back to like the whole hypocrite thing because it's like, yeah, you know, I try to be a good person, but then like personally, like you know, even in my family, the only people that it's hard for them to apologize.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes like for me, it's like a pet peeve. Like is it really that hard to just apologize? You know, it's not going to take anything from me.
Yeah.
But then it's like, you know, I have to understand, like, you know, for some people, like how you said, like, for some people, it's like, it's not that deep. But for some people, yeah, it is deep. So you have to understand that.
That's what I guess for me, with somebody I care about, it's easy for me to apologize because it's like, it ain't that deep to me, but if you feeling this strongly about it, my bad.
Well, yeah, so y'all know, like, y'all are a few people that I'll openly apologize to quicker than anybody else because I value the friendship that I have with y'all. So if there's something that's bothering y'all, obviously I want to correct that, and I'm not going to let my pride or whatever you want to call it get in the way of my relationships with people. So
I do think some people like to, when they're on the opposite end, they like to throw that in your face or play around with that. It's not that deep. It shouldn't ruin our friendship. Because that was the thing that was really annoying me on Friday. It's like, let me say something that strikes a chord with you. You are not going to have the same energy. So don't try that crap with me. Oh, it shouldn't. No, you're absolutely right. It shouldn't ruin a friendship because it's not that serious. But if, like how you said, if it's not that serious to you, then just say sorry. And then we can move on. Just listen to what I'm saying, realize where the offense came, and then we can move on from that. But it's like, you don't want to do that. It's not that deep for you to argue about it, but it's also deep enough for you not to want to apologize.
That reminds me of the friend that I used to have. I'm not going to mention any name, but I did lose what I consider a close friend because of that particular issue. They didn't want to.
Do I know the friend?
Yeah, you do. But they didn't want to see that side of like what I was trying to convey to them, or whatever. Just maybe because of the way that I portrayed my message, maybe I didn't do it in the correct way. But yeah, pretty much because of that, I didn't feel like they were taking something that I felt strongly about seriously.
Did y'all ever revisit the convo?
No.
Maybe, because I do realize, like, once you can revisit the conversation, it'll be something completely different. Because, and I lie to y'all not, I had the same exact conversation yesterday that I had on Friday, but it was just a complete different outcome now. And I know a lot of that had to do with when I wasn't yelling this time. Even though there was points in time that I was not yelling at the combo, but drinks was involved. Like, half the people there didn't even remember like most of what went on. They just knew there was a conflict and there was something to be mad at. But I was the only one who actually remembered what happened. So just taking that into consideration, it was like they were all like almost drunk, you know, and I'm like the most sober at the time. So
Yeah, so speaking of apologies, I'm sorry, but this is going to have to be the end of today's episode. You know, I had a good talk with y'all. I think there's some things that I learned that I could apply to my life and apply to my goals. So yeah.
no, facts. This was a good pilot. Yeah.
Anything you want to say, Larry?
No, just, I hope we continue, with our goals, and hopefully when the time comes, when the year wraps up, we'll be making a video about, our accomplishments.
Facts. Yeah.
Let's hope so. Like I said, it was nice talking to y'all. Nice having this episode with y'all. You know, it's Red and Blue. This is Moses. That's Larry X. This has been episode 1. One of many more to come.
Till next time.
We out here.
Bye.
Bye.